Time is 10:38 today. Time is 10:38. Today is 4th of February 2012. I'm still working on my project in teaching you Persian language, or familiarize you with it actually. But there are a few here and there comments and phone call comes and people are asking questions. Many of the academic, intelligent, whatever you want to call these groups, the problem with this God and idea of God and communications and all that. Essentially, after Karl Marx brings this up, he turns that God is nothing but an idea made by us. There's no God. I've already discussed that where he was wrong, his three statement, the fourth one was missing. And in the earlier ones, anywhere from number 3, the videos number 3 and up, I think right up and until 20, I discussed this issue, the existence of God. But that is not so much important, really. It is that how do we communicate with this so-called God? Because, the way God is portrayed in the religions of the past, in Apocalypse, in Bible, and the Quran, this is totally insulting to the intelligent mind. It seems all there's nothing but in stories, mothers telling to the little kids, and truly that's what it is. Because mankind was not able, just his intelligence is not as active as it was today, God would have to make up their stories. But within those stories lies the truth, you see. So, but today we're grown up. Well, we're not kids anymore. And we have developed from the cave where we used to live right now in this society with a lot of progress materially, unfortunately. Even socially a little bit we have progress, but spiritually we're not. But we're on the way. So it seems that if there is a God, or there is a presentation of God, it had to be changed. Today anybody talks about the spirituality, immediately comes a big beard, some clown hat like Pope, like Ayatollah. They all immediately want to distinguish themselves, that they're different from the other people. And based on that difference, they try to draw respect, fear, whatever from the other people in themselves that look, apparently we're different from you. That's what the leaders are doing. And that's mockery of the truth. Unfortunately, a lot of us buy that. So, but Jesus or Muhammad or Baha'u'llah, Buddha, Krishna, they were never any different from the other people at their time. At the time of Jesus, everybody, man had beard, so he had one too. His clothes was like everybody else's. Muhammad, same thing. Baha'u'llah, same thing. As Baha'i faith came in 1844, comes to 1957, when it comes to Shoghi Effendi, his dress is just like us. He has no beard, no mustache. You see, and he's the divine figure of God. And intelligent communities, they know this, and they say, this is all mockery. Yet there are others that they, like this Rastafarians, there are videos, that they're trying to bring this substance of any kind, mingle it with the spirituality. There's nothing to do with that. I'll explain that in the videos about the spirituality. Spirituality is now ceremony, is not even actions of any sort. It's really those deeds of giving, forgiving, bravery, sacrifice, humbleness, and name it. Those attributes makes the person spiritual. Doesn't matter how he dresses up or how he talks and which way he bends down. that means nothing, really. So let's talk about this God business, because I am his elder. Me and him, we sat down and have coffee and we talk all the time. Believe me, I'm telling you the truth. Let's see what's this. Let's just demystify this, you know. Get this mysticism and mystique out of it. Try to think in a very reasonable way. If you want to create something, you want to make something, anything, usually you need three things. You gotta have intelligence. A dog and a cat can't do it. If you want to build this house, you just have to have the intelligence, the knowledge, the capability, the capacity of thinking. Okay. Intelligence requires. Then of course you have to like to do it. You have to have a willingness. If you have no willpower to will it, then you're dead. But if you have a willpower and you will it and you want that done, that's another element. If you want it and you're intelligent, then what else you need? What's the third element? You need time. There's no way that you can make anything just like that. You need time. So in that manner, we and God are basically the same. Except for the fact that, what, we live 70 years in this body, is few billion years. That's all it is. In every other aspect, we're the same. There's no difference. Baha'u'llah uses a word actually quoted from the Islamics. Muslim, they don't understand it. But Baha'u'llah, you know, brings that up and he says there is no difference in a tradition that Baha'u'llah, you know, brings it up. There's no difference between us and you except that we are your servant and made by you. That's it. But the fact that we came out of him, it doesn't mean that we are any different. Why? Because we have intelligence. We have willpower. Animals don't have. And this is the problem of God. God does not know what you do. Believe me. Not that he cannot if he wants to. No, he's just made it like that. He has enough of the cows and the lamb and the snakes and the earth, and he knows what these things they do. They have no willpower. He's just made them. He knows what the lifespan and the life story of a cow is. Even we do too. So he's tired of that. He wants somebody that he himself purposely does not want to know what he does. So he gets surprised by it. Yes, God has not made this camera. I dare to say that he probably can't do it. Not that what he has made comparable to this camera. Of course not. There are a trillion times more complicated than this camera. But nevertheless, he has not made this camera. They are conjecture that he cannot make it. He does not use Euclidean ways of doing things. We do it. Why? Because we are his, as I said many times before, like a nanotechnology. Because he made us, so we make this, so you can say that what we make is his make ultimately. But in reality, he likes to see we create things, we do things. Okay, then what is the problem? Why can't we, contact? Hello, God. This is the problem. He's few trillion years, I cannot put time on it really, infinitely older. And that's what happens. I brought this example before. If all the people of the planet tonight, 5 billion, they all die, well, right now 7 billion, well, they all die and you're somewhere down on the ground, I don't know, so you're somebody, and all this life force of all the people goes into you. So you are supposed to be living 70 years, now 70 times 70 billion, you're going to live 449 billion years. Imagine. So, after 6 million, we came from cave to here. Can you imagine what will happen to you if you were alive in this life for 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion years? You would conquer the entire universe. The material universe becomes like a donut for you. You split the planet, you change them, you put motor on them. The whole universe becomes your, backyard. Then you're tired because you're the only one. And you just want to do something. Anything you make, it's like you know what they are. You're tired of it. You just want something like yourself. So finally you're disappointed. There is nobody. Let's say, like, you understand this. You clone yourself. Say, take a little piece of your hand and say that, okay, I'm going to clone myself. So another little God or another little you is made. There's one problem. Your son, your daughter, is some 30 billion years younger than you. In that span of time, you have evolved. You're no longer even material. You love them, but they don't see you. You want to do for them. They can't understand you. You're too far away from them. You see, this is sort of the problem of God. Okay? As I said, He can make us, He can tomorrow kill all of us tomorrow and annihilate the entire planet of Earth with just on proof. Yes, He can. But that's not the idea, though. He made us so we can create things. So in His loneliness, He watches us that we do things. What can we communicate with Him? Let's go to yourself. If you're like a matchbox, a piece of a stone, could you communicate with a piece of a stone? No. You could love him. You could love that piece of jewels, which is a stone. So dearly you love it. It doesn't understand you exist. If you're in, you evolve, you become a plant. You can't communicate with a plant. Plant has no means of communications. Can't. But now, imagine the same material, this is a stone, it turns, mechanized, you created a telephone. It's material. You put the intelligence in it, and now it became a telephone. Oh no, now you have a device that can call you. You turn it to TV and a radio. You can receive things. So we're like that. Or we're like a piece of a stone. God cannot communicate with us. We have no capacity. We have no capability. We have no means. So we have to turn around and become a device that is possible to communicate with. Because so long passed from Him, He's not material. He's no longer material. So as you, if you were to be living 20 billion years in here, you would turn into some kind of an energy. God is not material. It's beyond matter. You see? If you use material means to communicate with Him, it's like taking my jacket on the rack and you try to talk to jacket, hey, Abbas. Jacket is my jacket, but doesn't understand. It's not me. Sure, my jacket seems alive, it moves because I'm in it. If I'm out of it, it doesn't work. These religions are past, and these ideologies that exist right now are those dead jacket of a dead man. There's nothing in it. It was a son of the truth, but it turned a black hole. I can't even go through it. You get sick if you follow these religions. So, this is what it is. We have to become kind of a little bit like God. As I said, He is not material. When we're not a very thinking person, when we're not a spiritual, we're kind of material too. He can't contact us. We're like that piece of a stone. But if we turn around and we become a spiritual, which again, it does not require any sort of changing of your face or habits or this or that. No. It simply become kinder. Kind. Forgive. Try to understand the person who is hurting you. You could have been him hurting yourself too if you had his background. come with a higher understanding of your fellow human being and get into action, help, and do something. So you begin at that point of somebody that it is possible to communicate with. I've given all of that to you in these videos, how to turn yourself spiritual to come in. So going back to this story of God, so God knows, okay, it is impossible for my son to understand me. It's impossible. He is too little. What, 6 million years as opposed to infinity? Psh, dismal. So out of his kindness, definitely, he loves you more than he loves himself. And you know, when I say you, I mean you criminals. Yes, you rotten sons of the bitches. You, the one you hurt yourself and you hurt others. He, unfortunately, loves you. It's like a mother. When he has a handicapped child, he pays more attention to the handicap. By you, I mean all of you and the people on the planet. No one excluded, even Bin Laden. He loves simply all of us. He doesn't love what we do, no. He tries, you know, to straighten us up, but he loves us. So what he does, probably you would have done too, if you had 20 billion years over your child, what would you do? You would have to create some kind of a avatar of yourself, isn't it? Some kind of a manifestation, some kind of a things that he could go down and shake hand and communicate. And that is called Jesus Christ. That is called Buddha. That's called Krishna. That's Muhammad. But they were all the past avatars. Today is Baha'u'llah. Baha'u'llah is actually the avatar, the manifestation, the radio, the station, the point where God communicates with us. Because otherwise, we simply do not understand this infinitely older mother or father, whatever you want to call him. This supreme intelligent being. There's no way for us to know him. It would be unfair. A finite being of only 6 million years, you know, considering all of the humanity is one, connected together, how are we able to communicate with an infinite, intelligent being? Although he loves us so much, okay, we know that now. But how do we communicate with him? This is why it's not fair for us to be simply looking into a spiritual realm that we cannot even, we have bodies, we don't understand it. So that's why he brings manifestations. Today that manifestation is Baha'u'llah. There's no other way simply to know him. And these manifestations, I've already told you why Baha'u'llah is the manifestations of God. The most major, I think, difference between a manifestation of God, between the person who's coming from God and others, is that he's prophesied in the religions of the past. You know, Moses said Jesus comes. Muhammad said, Jesus said Muhammad will come. And Baha'u'llah said by Jesus, by Moses, by Muhammad, by Krishna, by Buddha, even by Quetzalcoatl, all of them have said that he's coming. That's one of them. But the most major one is his influence, his power over people. What is the psychology, I'm asking you, the sociologists, all of you, that one single human being, apparently, Christ or Muhammad or Buddha or Krishna, these four have close to 1 billion followers in the earth. Why would so many people follow them? If you think we're simply going wrong, why there aren't others? But just these four. Moses, there are not too many people following Moses, but actually all the Muslims and all the Christians, they believe in Moses too. Why is that? There are great scientists, great people who sacrificed. Spartacus died in the Rome, but nobody built any temple, anything, and no mass, nothing. Jesus, this chubby face. Jesus had a chubby face. Chubby face, young, small body. Turn around the entire Rome, entire world. How would he do it? It's because it is God. And we are just like the voice, His word. It goes into some inner being of us. It's like our mother. When he tells us, she tells us something as so different from anybody else. If we don't know questions, and 20 people in the room tell us this and that and that, and our mother says, no son, is this, we take that one. We take her because we trust, you see, the relationship. This is sort of the things that we have. So we have to know Baha'u'llah, you know. Now, that's the level one. Level first, you have to have some background. Now, you know there's God. Now they know that there is a manifestation for it. There's Baha'u'llah. Then now we have to go study Baha'u'llah. We simply cannot relate ourselves to Baha'u'llah as some people, they say, oh, he's teaching, I heard 5, 6, 7, okay, it's good. No, it's not going to work. You have to take a project. Go on the Baha'i.org, read the entire life history of Baha'u'llah and the history of the Baha'i faith. My God, there's more than 50 books in history of what happened. 20,000 people died. So study, you know, Baha'u'llah and the Bab and the Baha'i faith. Then you start to know him. Once you know him, then you start to like him. Then you practice few things and you see it's coming correct. It's right on. What he says is guaranteed. I'm telling you that right now. So, finally, Baha'u'llah has written a lot of tablets, a lot of writings. There's plenty of them is translated into English. And then Abdul-Baha interpreted it. Read those books. Read Thief in the Night. Read, that's William Sears, Hands of the Cause. Read that Release the Sun. The history of the Baha'i faith of the Bab as it came in. It began in 1844. Read the Book of Certitude by Baha'u'llah. Read Some Answered Questions by Abdul-Baha. So Baha'u'llah has certain special prayers that if you read those, you can communicate with. The Baha'is know many of them. There's one, none of the Baha'is that I know of, they are not aware. Many of them, maybe 90% of them, they don't know. Definitely Canadian, American, English people, they don't know. But the Persian also, they do not know that. This is in a book that's actually on the website of the Universal Laws of Justice. It's called Ma'ideh Asmani, the volume 7. Unfortunately, it's in Arabic. I had to translate it for you in English. This translation is kind of draft, but is the best I could do. It's very close to original. I used the writing of Shobi Effendi to do it. Now in this prayer, Baha'u'llah says that first you go wash your hand. While you're washing, this is the prayer of taking it out of the computer. We're actually going to put that in the website in the next couple of days. So go on the publication and media and download this prayer. First you go wash your hand and put this somewhere as you can read it, wash your hand, and then wash your face as you're reading it. Then you have to, Baha'u'llah says that actually try to put some perfume on yourself. Make it literal. God is a literal being. Trust me, it's not an idea. And also don't be afraid of him. He loves you very much. So put some perfume and then find a point of adoration, which is Holy Land, Israel, where the body of Baha'u'llah capitalized there. And then basically these are the things that you have to say. This is the exact translation. I'm going to read some of it for you. I've written on the top, this is the prayer that has been revealed by the most exalted pen for the fulfillment of the wishes which are legitimate and important. On the beginning, Baha'u'llah says, if it is important and legitimate, don't come and pray to me and ask me that I want to fly, I want to, ask things that are legitimate. Okay? And this is what he says, our exact translation. And then it says, while washing hand, say. This is what you have to say when you wash your hand. O my Lord, cleanse me from all else but thee, then prepare me for thy visitation in the day of the manifestation of thy beauty and resurrection of thyself. Then sanctify me from whatever veiled me from thy splendid beauty, and purify me, O Lord, for understanding thy manifestation, the most exalted, the all-knowing. Now washing the hand. Now you're washing your face, and this is what you have to say. O my Lord, this is my face. I wash it as thou didst ordain me with this water. Then, O my God, I entreat thee by the name that many are shut out as by a veil from thee, except for those of thy servant that adore thy unity. Cleanse my face with the waters of thy grace, which stream forth from the right hand of the throne of the glory of thy glory, to enable it to be pure for thy countenance, the most sanctified, the splendid, and the luminous. O my Lord, protect him then from turning towards others, those who repudiated thy greatest revelation of thy most exalted, the most high, who manifested with thy most holy name, the superior, the most wondrous, the most glorious. O my God, do not deprive me from the glances of thy tender grace, and breathe me not from the holy breath of thy favor. Thou art the answer of him who asks, and near to him who seeks. O my Lord, make him enlightened in this day in which faces are darkened, and illuminate him with thy gracious countenance. Then Baha'u'llah says, then let him apply perfume, standing towards the point of adoration, which is Israel Akka, lift both hands towards God like this, and say, O Lord, I implore thee by thy name, through which thou hast revealed thyself into the realm of thy creation and transcended the entire being, inasmuch as thou scented me with this perfume, waft over me the divine fragrances of holy paradises of thy mercy and sweet savour, through which shed the sweet-smelling aroma of the robe of thyself, the glorious and the brightest. Then that I may not possess aught else but the sanctified fragrances of the grace and benevolences, and wholly turning my direction towards thee, detached from everyone else save thee. Verily thou art almighty over whatsoever thou willest, and thou art the most generous, the compassionate. O my well-beloved, and my utmost desires and possessor of my essence, reveal down unto your servant what is indicative of thy kingdom of grace and generosity, and is worthy of thy wondrous glory and beauty. I implore thee not to forbid me, O my God, from whatsoever thou hast decreed on the heaven of thy will and firmament of thy desires for thy chosen ones, whom thou hast specified for thyself. The glorious, the most beautiful. O my Lord, I am the poor one, who has clung unto the cord of thy grace, and I am the abased one, who cleaves to the cord of thy grace and glory. I am the weak one, who has sought nearness unto the sanctuary of thy glory and power, and then unto the tents of thy majestic kingdom and sovereignty. Behold me, O my Lord, I am rising between thy hands, supplicating thy grace, having forsaken everything else save thee, fleeing from those who are not of thee, and turning my direction to the sanctuary of the reunion and the Kaaba of thy good pleasure. Who is of existence that could be deemed worthy that I can turn unto, or is of manifestation that I could turn my direction unto? Nay, swear by thy beauty all the manifesting ones have been utter nothing, and to the manifestation of thy sanctified splendor of greatness and all exalted one have been lost, and to the station of thy exalted glory and transcendence. Reveal unto thy servant that which may suffice for him over anything whatsoever that may be in the heaven or in the earth. Verily, thou art more merciful than all of those who show mercy. Then lower the hand down, take one step forward, stand and say, O my Lord, reveal to me in this position what thou hast revealed unto Moses and the Mount of Paran of thy love, and Horeb of thy grace, and Sinai of thy mercy and grand glory, to renounce me, O my Lord, from names and their dominion, that I may not be veiled by them from their Creator, by whose command they were created. Verily thou art powerful over all things. Then incline mine ears to thy voice from all the trees, as hearkened from the tree of thy cause, as thy servant Moses, who thou hadst chosen and sent unto the world. Step forward once again and say, O my God, reveal unto me in this position what thou hast revealed unto Christ, to rise for the praise of thyself and utterance of thy signs amongst the people of oblivions, so they may cleanse their heart and misgivings, for the cause of whom sooned away all that are in the heavens and on earth, except for a numbered few. O my God, sanctify me in this position from attributes and their dominion which has become a barrier between me and witnessing the essential divine light. Make me to drink, O my God, the cup of immortality from the hands of the Bab, the name of my Lord, the exalted, the Most High, in this subsequent dispensation. Verily thou possessest the greatest bounty. O Lord, make me to quaff from the eternal water, to be set ablaze by the heat of thy love in such a way that your servant may become inflamed by me. Then flow from my mouth the fountain of understanding in realization of thy merciful self, as a proof to those who are shaken in thy clear, brightest, straight path. Step forward for the third time and say, O my Lord, manifest unto me in this position what thou hast revealed unto the prophets and the chosen ones that are nigh unto thee. Then detach me, O my God, from this world and the world to come. Then make me to attain the paradise of thy presence and enter the eternal garden of thy glory, the gracious and the bright. O my Lord, erase from my heart all worldly mention, that I may rise up to praise Thee on the heaven and on the earth. O my Lord, forgive my grievous errors and wrongdoing, and whatsoever I neglected besides my Lord, the exalted, the Most High, and my stoppage on the divine path that has encompassed the world. O my Lord, clothe me with a garment of forgiveness and a robe of certitude. Verily Thou art the fulfiller of the needs of seekers. Then prostrate and say. You essentially, your hand is down, you go down, prostrate on the ground towards the point of adoration, and that's how it says. Then prostrate and say, Praise and duty unto Thee, O my Lord, for Thy wondrous benevolences and manifestation of grace for my sake, inasmuch as Thou taught me the pathways of the understanding and the ways of Thy guidance. Thereupon, O my Lord, I implore Thee, by the light of Thy countenance, which has enlightened the world of creation and brightened the universe, not to make me of those who hearkened to Thy voice and denied Thee, and appeared unto them Thy manifestation to the highest clarity of the most glorious height, and disobeyed Thee. Then ordain for me a seat in Thy paradise, on the side of Thy merciful name. Then join me to Thy servant who are nigh unto Thee. Then let me partake from all the goods in Thy knowledge. Then resurrect me after this life in between the hands of Thy manifestation, the Most High, the Exalted, the Almighty. Then raise your hand from prostration and request your wish from God. So this is the website that this is there. I'm going to take it in front of you so you can see the original. So this is, you can call it prayer. That's a classic word. How about, this is the email. This is an email to Baha'u'llah. You want to email Baha'u'llah? Do this. That's what he says. If it didn't happen, then question him. Tell him, sir, you gave your life in prison, you died. And you wrote this. And you said if we have a problem that's important and legitimate, we can ask you. He does not say you should be a Baha'i to do that. He just says that you have to be close to the truth, which naturally is the Baha'i faith. But it's just the minimum of it, is the Baha'i faith. You got to get into the Baha'i faith. Baha'i faith is a gate. The day you sign to be a Baha'i, or you feel you're Baha'i, you just signed up. That's all you have. But you got to go to this, as he says, immerse in the ocean of my writings. So this kind of prayer is not prayer. It's a telephone call, it's an email. Send it to him and ask him, God, I have this problem. Can you help me? Well, you may not get it all the way, but you will have some kind of a strange dream or events that has not happened to you before. Some strange stuff that's totally out of this world. One staunch Muslim, really one of these staunch Muslim, he was here. He said that I don't accept none of the Baha'is, but you I do. I said, okay. He has this wife, it's a Hungarian. Wow, that's very angry, and I think she's mental problem. Take his child and does not let him to see the child. Oh, classic. in the North America. So he's just dying. He says, what can you do? I told him, I can't do anything for you, but your maker can. I said, you know, I don't believe anybody tells me anything, but when you say, I'm going to, you know, shake my head not to accept it. What do I have to do? I told him, do this prayer and ask God to help you. He prayed and he left. He calls me and says, you can't believe what happened. I said, okay, hey, what happened? He says, my wife, she called me. She says, come down and see my kids. He didn't know. Why? Because he forgot that he prayed. I immediately got it. I told him, hey, I wonder why. He goes, yeah, you know, really, something happened. And yet some of the problem is solved. Then he told me that, you know what, Abbas? This is the prayer, okay? I prayed and it happened. I told him, oh yeah. I remember in India, there was a fellow, kind of a truck driver. He says, you know, I was young, I was 24 years old. He says, hey, Abbas, I'm not much of a religious man, or, you know, I've never done anything religious in my life. I told him, all right. I says, you know, this wife of mine's taken away the kids and children. I don't know, it's like I'm dying in this hotel. It was a national hotel in Pune. So I can't give his name to you, but it was National Hotel in Pune. And I told him, yeah, okay, I have a solution for you. So, yeah, he says, yeah, you do. Nobody solved it. Even Consular Afshin couldn't talk to my wife. She wouldn't listen. I said, okay, go do this prayer. I said, my God, I would have not done to anybody. But so I had to translate it for him in Persian so he knows what he's talking about. He prays, he said, I prayed 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. It was on the 9th day, I think. He says, tuck, tuck, tuck. The door in my room in the middle of his prayer is knocking. And who's behind the door? His wife. He was saying, this is miracle, this is miracle. So I've given this prayer to a lot of people. I've issued Universal Laws of Justice to look at this translation that I have. If they want to do some correction, let them come and do it. I have no qualm with it. But I think it's pretty accurate because I use Shoshone Effendi's, really. His words, it's not my words. So, but be careful what you want, okay? This is not a joke, brothers and sisters. Be careful. Do not just go to Baha'u'llah and ask some, you know, stupid things. You know, I myself, I'm afraid to ask. For example, if I ask money, maybe money, if I get tomorrow, I buy something and then, phew, I go and die. Maybe money is associated with certain things that if I have the money, that things comes with it and kills me. So, it's hard to ask anything. Very hard. I always ask that, what is in the prayer? I ask, you know. I says, God, I already know you do these things anyways, but since this is an official request, so I officially request, please do what you think is best for me and what is best for the cause of God. And if I have shortcoming, try to fix it. And sometimes even I hear him, he says that, you know, I can't fix it. You're going to die under surgery. Because whatever, you know, you guys are so much intertwined with this material desires that you have. It's pretty difficult. But there's another practical way that you can feel this presence of God. Yes, you can. That's very practical as well. And I brought that last night, the last time when I was talking. Somehow there's something good in us, you know. Definitely. You can sit down and look at your life and say, okay, there was some good moment that I'm satisfied with myself. Maybe 5 minutes, maybe 1 day, or more. And there are a lot of bad things. Forget the bad things, but those good things that you have. Imagine if 10 of you get together, just talk about those good things you have done for others, for yourself, for people. But in the middle is Baha'u'llah as a magnet. He gets those good energies from you. And you gather together in His name, as Jesus says, whenever 2 or 3 of you are gathered in my name, I will be there, He says. If you do that and gather there, all of a sudden you feel a strong energy. When you leave the place, you just feel it, how powerful it was. Many Baha'i meetings in my life that I've attended, conferences or whatnot, that energy was felt, you see. We ourselves may not have enough wire to connect, let's say, but there are others. We get together we can make the cord and connect ourselves to God. See, the secret is that you have to be the part of the whole. As one cell in your body, one cell, whether the cell from the heart or the brain or the leg, is useless, is not representative of you. Okay. There has to be a lot of cells in your body, then it can represent part of you. But if all the cells are together, imagine, individually are nothing. But when they come together under the formula of God, they make my body. Then I walk and I talk. Individual cells couldn't do it. When they come under the plan of God, which is formulated in my body, all of a sudden material speaks. As I speak, as you hear it. Because in the combination that is put together, that's the Baha'i meetings, the true Baha'i meetings are the same way. If you're Baha'is in the community, do not just limit yourself to the Baha'i meetings. Find out the Baha'is, go talk to them, see what good they are, and get together. Bring them at home. It's called deepening class. Get yourself together, deepen yourself about the subjects, about the topic. And then invite your friends to come in. Don't plan for the people to become Baha'i. That's dirty. Don't do that. Just expose what you have. If it is good, they accept it and they get it. If not, it's your shortcoming or theirs. But everybody tried, eh? So that is how you could get the right energy. But something is very important. I have to reiterate many times. Many people, they say, why Baha'u'llah? How come him, just him? There could be these things, they're action of good, we could do it. No, it doesn't work. It's like you have all the material in my body. You find out there's so much carbon, so much water, so much iron, so much manganese, whatever. You put them all together on this table, it will not become me. It won't work. It is impossible. You have to follow the plan, how these things are connected, interconnected. So a Baha'i meeting, a Baha'i gathering is like that. Because Baha'u'llah says this way and that way and this way and that way, that's just a manual. What is Baha'i Faith? Baha'i Faith is a manual to operate yourself within the nature of God. That's what it is. So you got to follow the manual. You want to go your own, patching this, patching, nothing will happen. It's like, you buy these things from IKEA, 200 times you put it together, it will not go unless you follow what they want you to do. So, the way Baha'u'llah says this prayer and this word only works. One word different, that won't work. Just like that, when you're typing the email address. One wrong thing, it will not work. Like protein code. The code is one wrong element goes in there, one wrong codon, it makes the protein poisonous. The person becomes ill, handicapped, because the protein has to be exactly transcribed. dead on. If one mistake happens, which happens sometimes in nature, it becomes abnormal. Religion is the same way. The true religion of God, the true writing of Baha'u'llah, it's not a writing as such, trust me. These are prescriptions. You can't change it around, and nobody else can come and say these things. So, I think I answered some of you that you are asking that in this century of 20th century, 21st century, we're grown up. I don't need God anymore and these things. Please rethink. You're trying to tell me that this universe, there's no intelligence in it? You have to be intelligent as you are and use your intelligence as you have. Try to understand the construction of an apple or a pear or a bear or a human or a universe. Why? Because you need intelligence to understand the intelligence that is being put into the universe. If you need intelligence to understand an apple, well, then there is intelligence in the apple. Construction of the apple, there is some kind of intelligence put together. If you need intelligence to understand that intelligence, and you have intelligence, because of it you are intelligent, well then intelligence in the construction of the apple, I've got to tell you that there's an intelligent behind it. It just doesn't have body, and you are blind, and you think that the eye is the only thing that can see or comprehend, you know. So, there is, of course there's, you know, maker. But it's not what these people are trying to tell you, that you go this way, that way, that way. It won't work. There are experiments made in this planet by, you know, Jesus, by Moses, by Muhammad. They all accomplished huge amount of work and upheaval in the world of humanity and transferred the human being from so many stages to today. All what you see right now in this century is coming from Muhammad and Baha'u'llah and Christianity. Baha'u'llah's effect is going to be huge, way beyond your comprehension when it comes in the course of time. So Baha'u'llah is the beloved of Jesus, the father of Jesus. Is the one Muhammad calls him Allah. He says, he sent me down. Bob calls him, you know, the master of universe. Buddha calls him Amit Abha. You see, he's huge, way beyond comprehension. Do not be misled by his body. It's like you're saying, this microphone is no good. Look at it. It's just, no, nothing. It's not the microphone we look. We're looking at the voice and the sound that comes through the microphone. We're looking at the energy of God that comes through Baha'u'llah. It's not his body. It's just a man like you and I. But he has a different software. We don't have that. Our body even cannot take it. His hardware even is different, somewhat, from us, that actually can take it. The suffering that he has gone through, if I go through, one day I die. They made him and his family to go from Iran to Iraq through the mountain in Kurdistan without even footwear. Baha'u'llah developed arthritis for all his life, and his son, because they walked barefoot, you know, on the snow. Many months they did that. Oh, I would die probably the first week. The believers that they would go to see in Akka, where Baha'u'llah was, there were insects, I don't know what you call it, but when they bite your foot, it just gets a big chunk. The foot, I was reading, the Baha'is, they would go there, sleeping one night there, as if they were wearing a boot. Their entire foot was all black, bitten by the bug. That's the circumstances, unimaginable. He survived it, you know, and never said a word towards us. I wish I could understand his love for you. It's huge. It's beyond comprehension how much he cares. You know, he's cooking the material in the oven of time. Turn it around, turn it around. Billions of years to get a planet like Earth. And then it turns it around, finally it gets the plants and animals, and finally the body that he wants for a man to be made. See how much the universe has gone through to make your body. So, if you want to see a holy sight, it is the body of mankind. Just prostrate in front of it, just as God made this. So amazing handiwork is this body of a human being. And other animals as well, but the human body, you know. So this to me shows all of his love. So many fruits, so many birds, so many things in this planet that we can enjoy. All of it is made for us, because we understand it. Others they don't, animals don't, the stones don't, plants don't, we do. It's all for our joy. But we're complaining, like one boy says, ha ha ha, there's no God. Sure, there's no God. I absolutely am guaranteeing where you're standing, there is nothing, my boy. But all I can tell you that, you're standing in the wrong area. You're looking in the darkness and you say, oh, I can't find nothing. Put some light on and you'll see things. First thing you know, it's this very dirty place, you got to get out of it. Okay. I'm going to put this prayer, I ask this to be put on the website under the media and the publication. This will go in the next couple of days. But I read it tonight for you. Read this the way I told you, and be careful nobody see you when you're doing this prayer. It has to be very private. As possible as private. No one should know, just you. And then, if you're interested, you can, either call me and ask me. I can tell you what your dream means. First, you will see dreams, that you have to. It's all indicative of what else, where your stage is, and what you have to do. This prayer is like digging through. Okay. Not that God doesn't hear it; He hears you, but He's sending the message. But you don't have any email, much less you're not even a computer. You're a piece of a stone. You can't receive the message. You've got to turn yourself around to be able to receive the message too. If you receive the message, then you see God is sending message every minute, every second. Just don't have the device and you think there is nothing. Okay, God be with you.